Okay, let me show you how important it is to save our fruit these days. You know how typically you can buy a bag of frozen smoothie fruit for like at the least maybe $10 at your Aldi's or something like that, and perhaps at the most for $12.99, $15.99 a bag. And you use it for your smoothies, and that's all great. It's convenient. But take your own fresh fruit that we often will throw away if it gets a little too ripe and freeze it before pitching it. Freeze it on in individual portions on parchment paper. So here's my parchment paper. I just learned this today and I just got to share it. Hold on. So cut up your fruit. If it's bananas and you don't want them to go bad, just cut them into individual pieces. Put it on your parchment paper. Okay. There's my banana that I really didn't want to see wasted. And then take your fruit that maybe you've gotten at a market and it's in a dish like this. Sometimes they have it on sale for $5, so buy it. Even though it's like a day or two into ripeness, you're getting ready to freeze it and use it for your future smoothies. So take that fruit, cut it up, let it sit on the parchment paper. See, real simple. Got my cantaloupe, got my pineapple. Actually, yesterday, this was purchased, and I know I won't be able to eat all this fruit in the next few days. Take your strawberries, cut it up to the portion and sizes that you prefer. And I'm just going to show you a few things that I'm going to do. Even the berries. I'm taking the berries that are in the center, the blueberries. I had raspberries earlier today, but take all that. Now this piece of cantaloupe had a little more rind on it than I would like, so I'm going to cut it up. Okay, so here it all sits on the parchment paper, and what I learned in an earlier trial of this is to make it easier to put into your freezer. So here it is. Oops. Lay it out on the parchment paper. Transfer it to a cookie sheet. Now here it is on the cookie sheet. And I will put it in the freezer. And it's easy because when you put it on top of your freezer shelf, you're just going to pull off the parchment paper and slide it onto your freezer shelf. So I've taken all of that fruit. Here it is now. Sorry for the ridiculous camera views, but I'm about to now put it in the freezer. And it's so easy to transfer it from the parchment paper and use a cookie sheet with the parchment paper on the cookie sheet. Okay, so honestly, this transfer of the fruit via the cookie sheet to the shelf in the freezer wasn't as easy as I had done it earlier, but I just had a little thought. Why not just put the parchment paper on the shelf? So empty out a shelf in your freezer. Put the parchment paper on the shelf and just cut up the fruit while the paper is sitting on the shelf. So let it freeze for a couple hours. Come back. You'll have the solidly frozen fruit. You'll need to remove it from pulling the entire shelf out if it does like mine did, because it kind of stuck to the shelf. And by taking the shelf out and just letting it warm up a tad in your room, it was easy to then transfer the fruit to my Ziploc bags. And then I have saved a ton of fruit from being pitched that we could not have finished eating in 24 hours. And it was ripe, but it was really good fruit. It would have been a shame to let it sit in the fridge and waste. So I'm just transferring something to you that was taught today to me. And I hope that you use this method to save your fruit. Have a good one.